Back at Sportsnet Radio, little question for you. Jim Balsillie, the Hamilton Coyotes, could this possibly happen? We want to know. Jim Balsillie's move, he kind of went in from the side over there to go into Phoenix court and try to make a bid for the Phoenix Coyotes. Phoenix Coyotes, as we know, has been one of the worst kept secrets in the NHL. Can't afford their team. They haven't been running their team since the beginning of January, and the NHL has been running the Phoenix Coyotes. Now, this is somewhat of a situation as the Montreal Expos and Major League Baseball, when Major League Baseball ran the team when they had no owners in Montreal. So, will there be a Hamilton team? Will there be a new team to Southern Ontario? Should there be? What is up with Gary Bettman versus Jim Balsillie? There's all these questions that we have right now. I'm going to throw it out to the panel right now, starting with Randy. Randy, what's going to happen here? First of all, will this happen?
I don't think it will. The Bill Daly, the legal counsel for the NHL, and Gary Bettman have been saying that he's going the wrong way. He's talking to the owners about getting the team and moving them, but he's not talking to the NHL first.
But this is his third time trying to get a team.
Well, yeah, because he had Pittsburgh and then Nashville and now Phoenix. But they always say that he goes about it the wrong way. He talks about the teams, but the NHL feels that they're in charge of the Coyotes, and the Phoenix ownership says that they are. So it's
but we're talking about the NHL, the National Hockey League, and Gary Bettman, who believes that expanding into Europe is a good idea at this point. When you don't build a house from the roof down, you build it from the foundation up. And when you have sustainable markets like Tampa Bay, Florida, Nashville, Atlanta, Phoenix, who can't even have a market or any sort of value, and they want to put money and invest into those teams, the system doesn't work. So is Southern Ontario... Jules, is Southern Ontario about a good market for hockey?
Well, I think so. I mean, I seriously don't see any problem with putting it there. I mean, some people are seeing, like, you know, you got the Sabres, you got the Leafs. This is going to detract from these teams, but they're such big franchises as it is. Like, Leafs tickets are always going to sell out.
Sure.
And I mean, if you got the Southern Ontario team too, they're going to sell out. Maybe I might be able to get to a Leafs game finally. And I think it's great. Those people in Hamilton, they're going to love that. It's going to be, it's going to amp up the NHL.
I think Southern Ontario is one of the best places to put a team. Canada has always been a loving country of hockey, founders of hockey, and I just feel that we can't get to Leafs games, and we need another team here that can bring more people.
Well, other than the Leafs, they're not really a great team.
But not a great team, but you gotta look.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Phoenix. Your mind is the NHL consistently having this philosophy of we're going to keep these teams into markets where no one really cares, into markets where there's football, baseball, basketball, and college football, and hockey is on the. It's a podium. It's nothing. But if you bring it to a Canadian city, it is the #1 sport. You'll sell it every single game.
We don't agree a lot of times, me and you, but you're right. I don't know who's doing the marketing for the NHL in locations of cities and all that, but we know Canada's #1 to support hockey. You should have a team in Winnipeg. You can have a team in Kitchener, like they were saying, in Hamilton. I'll be honest with you, I don't like the Leafs. I hate to see 2 Leaf teams I have to despise, but you know what? You know they can support them. Like being said, it's so hard to get a ticket just to one game here. You can even have a team in my backyard, and I can have 20,000 fans in my backyard. So you know what? Like I said, if you're out there, the NHL, and you're looking at this, like really, put teams in cities that you know are going to do well. I mean, come on, what were you thinking? Like Nashville and some of these other cities and stuff. Like, you're going to have one in the South, in Florida, Tampa Bay, but like 2 or 3? No. The marketing is all done incorrect. And then you're thinking of Europe. It's like Aaron said, take care of your business here at home before you start thinking of silly things like that.
Sorry. Well, the reason that they're trying to market the game itself. So if they've put a team in Phoenix, then they're going to try to get the youth in Phoenix start playing hockey, even ball hockey or whatever, just get them into the sport. That takes time, and it hasn't worked in Phoenix as well. But LA, there's a lot of kids trying to play hockey in LA. Atlanta, not so much. But
well, Carolina's a good story.
Carolina's
working very well in Carolina.
Well, of course, to do that though, you need a good team. Carolina made it to won the cup a few years ago, and all of a sudden
they're doing pretty well right now.
Pretty big, and they're still selling out. They're doing well this year as well.
I think if you have a team, though, they have to win when you're in Southern America. They have to win. There's too many other teams there. Like they said, football, all these other teams there that are more dominant than hockey is in those other states. So they need better marketing. They need to win in order for them to flourish with Southern America.
With Phoenix as well. Phoenix is a 4-sport city. It's not it's one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, but it's not big enough to support 4 sports, especially when everybody's they don't have hockey in the mindset in the first place. Like Atlanta only has the same problem. But if you go to North Carolina, why it's doing well, there's not the 4 big leagues aren't in Atlanta. So So I'm keeping well team with NASCAR as well, but it's.
But Carolina has done well because they've done well as a team.
Yes.
Okay,
Sure.
and I'm sorry, but when I'm watching the Carolina games, is it me or is it like the same 20,000 fans that they keep showing? So, but you know what? That's good. It's dedication. At least you know they have those 20 same fans that go to the games. And as far as Phoenix goes, I'm sorry, if you have one of the biggest stars in hockey like Wayne Gretzky, not able to do good things for that franchise, you know what? It's time to let it go. Bring it back to
Wayne
Winnipeg.
has more of an impact here in Canada than he does in Southern America as well. So bringing the team here and even leaving Wayne as the head coach, oh my gosh, can you imagine the people that would go watch that game?
Now, the economics of this is really the NHL doesn't want another team in Southern Ontario, and this is pure fact because how it will affect the franchises that are in Southern Tampa, the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning. They would
Get rid of them. Get rid of them. So what?
Who plays hockey in Florida?
No kidding. You're failing there. If you're going to fail, let it fail in Canada. And I guarantee you, it's not going to fail in Canada.
Well, you got to remember, the hockey did fail in Canada in the early 90s.
It didn't fail.
It did fail. Hockey failed in Canada, where the NHL had to put a lot of money into redistribution programs to help out teams like even the Montreal Canadiens. I mean,
that's happening now anyways.
Buffalo also had that problem. Buffalo went bankrupt. They got to take over for a while. And Buffalo's, most of the fans are Niagara region go to those Buffalo
Sure,
games.
but Buffalo is still having that problem. You're still having big owners. The Montreal Canadiens, George Gillette, trying to sell the team because that's his only asset right now. He's losing money over in Liverpool and everywhere else. So by looking at that, look at Winnipeg. Look at some of these other cities. They are viable for franchises. Winnipeg wants a team right now. Hamilton, I think, can support a team right now.
They could, yeah.
What about Kitchener and Waterloo?
Sure, why not?
I think there's huge
The people that go to the Toronto games will end up going there.
Yeah,
So believe me, you have no problems like supporting teams anywhere around Toronto.
So let's just take a pick over here. 5 teams. Each person over here picks one team that they would have to relocate from the United States. Mark, starting with you.
You know what? I want to say Nashville, not because they don't have a good team, not that they're not supporting them. I just don't see Nashville as a hockey team when I think hockey. Sorry.
Binks?
Yeah, same. Nashville. I would have said that first.
Randy?
Well, Atlanta's the obvious choice. Because they've never done well with fans. They don't do well in the playoffs. They're not actually building a base there at all. So I'd say Atlanta.
Nash?
I gotta go with the Lightning. I think they've kind of fallen off and
just nowhere to be found?
they're just not there. When was the last time you
She's
heard
right.
about
They
them?
have really good
You haven't
players.
heard about them.
You have the Cavalier. And they won the cup like a few years ago, and they still can't do well. Teams like that, I'm sorry, they don't deserve a franchise.
And my final pick on this is going to be get rid of the Florida Panthers. For the love of whoever you believe in, for $6 for center ice tickets plus parking included, and you have free hot dogs. There is a huge problem in Florida. No one goes to your games except Canadian tourists. You got to change that. We're going to come back on Sports Night Radio. We're going to be talking about the NHL playoffs and giving you an update on that. Stay tuned.